Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing this afternoon? This laptop is a delayed thing right here. Looks like we got Shatika, Wilson, Kaled. Hello, Kaled. Hello, Wilson. And good afternoon, Shatika. Welcome. It's only 85 degrees right now. I was a little stiff this morning because it was cool, but now it's warmed up, so my bones are fine. My arthritis likes the hot weather, not the cold weather. How are you, my sweet? I'm just fine, Caleb, and how are you? And there's Edith. Hello, Edith. How are you doing today, this afternoon? Bright and sunshiny, 85 degrees here in Texas today. We had a little bit of rain this morning, and it was overcast, but the sun finally came out. And my garden, oh my gosh, it has jumped for joy with that little bit of rain. Yeah, we had thunder, a lot of thunder last night, and a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, not much, but it never did get bad like they thought it was going to. But, I don't know how bad it may have gotten around the outer skirts of where I'm at, but it didn't get bad here at all. It sounded bad with the thunder, but that's all, just had a lot of thunder. Good, Wilson. I hope you enjoy it. Plant your seeds so you get some chives or little onions. I got another handful of them I got to plant this afternoon out there in the dish pan, I think. Thank you, Caleb. You're such a sweet person. Yeah, I was sweating in here yesterday, and Gladys said, well, turn your AC on. I said, no, because I'll get too cold, and then I'll be stiff and aching again. But I slept good last night, so that makes a difference when you sleep, You feel lots better the next day if you get a good night's sleep. There we go. Yeah, Joanne said it was a lot of thunder in Florida. Just barely put them under the ground and have that little sprout sticking up out of the ground. Wilson's asking me, how do you plant the seeds? Yeah, just barely put them under the ground and let the little green sprout that's come up on them just stick out of the ground. And they love the sun. So you can put them in a pot or somewhere right out in the sun. They love the sun. Onions and chives and all that, they love the sun. Uncle BB said, this is first I tuned in on time, no trouble. Joanne says sleeping is her favorite thing to do. I mean, you can plant them little chives or onions in something that deep as long as you got plenty of room. A big square, shallow pan is good. Anywhere you got to plant them is okay, as long as they get a lot of sun. They love sun. And there's Diana Hinkle and Jana Jacob. Hello, ladies. Your seeds behind you grew fast. So these back here, that's artificial flowers. They're not even real. Who won trivia? I think it was Tamara Douglas that won Thursday night. She won the necklace and the seeds, and I sent them to her. Yeah, my daughter sent me a bouquet of real flowers in this vase years ago, and I kept the vase. And then later she gave me a whole bouquet of artificial flowers. So I put the artificial flowers in the vase that she'd already given me. And I've kept this for years. Many years I've had this. And the good thing about these artificial flowers, you can fill the sink full of warm soapy water and just dunk them in it up and down and then rinse them off and let them dry. And they look brand new. They last for a long, long time. I've had them for many years. Uncle BB said no one has to know Lucy entered wax tulips on the show. Well, good, Diane. I hope you do enjoy the rest of your day as well. Caleb said it's so happy time that holy month, Radam. And okay, it's like your New Year's, right, Caleb? It's like your the start of a new year or something, kind of like our New Year's celebration. I think you have like fasting before that, and then when you end fasting, you have a big feast and a celebration to end, to end the old new year and bring in the new part of the year. I think I'm right. I'm not sure. You'll have to correct me if I'm not. Dennis was talking about sending you those frogs. No, rats that him and his grandkids were killing, were shooting the other day. The other day. And there's Tamara Aimling. Hello. Yeah, we welcome Wilson back. Everybody was missing Wilson. We didn't know what happened to him. Tickled to death he's back. And Caleb's back. What's everybody been up to today? Till now. Yeah, with my arthritis, I do well when it's warm weather, hot weather. It's 85 degrees now. I don't have my AC on, and I feel great. I'm not aching. I'm not stiff. I mean, my hand's a little stiff, but the rest of my body's not. Well, thank you, Kaylin. And there's Anna Panna from Germany. Welcome, Anna from Germany. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too, Tamara. I might make a short video on me planting the rest of those little bitty chives, those onions, so Wilson can see how I do them. And Wilson, King of Persia, hello, welcome to our chat. Tamara, staying dry, it's drizzling rain with a chance of, oh no, snow again? That means it's pretty chilly where you're at then. Well, I fried blueberry pie this morning and need a cup of coffee. Well, there you go. I ate one of my banana muffins that I baked yesterday for breakfast this morning. In fact, I ate 2 of those muffins with a cup of coffee. That was my breakfast. And then I think I did eat a boiled egg. Did Wilson say he got hurt? Is that why he didn't come to chat? I must have missed that if he did, because... Oh, I know. It looks like an orange or greenish film across the top of my car. Part of it's dust and part of it's just pollen. Oh my goodness, Wilson. You fell off a boat in Texas Gulf Coast last week, had to be airlifted out of the water. Oh my goodness. That must have been a really big boat. And Wilson King of Persia said, I just mowed my lawn, so much pollen outside in central Arkansas. I hope that one day I will wake up and not be forced to feel like I am playing dodgeball. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's some really pretty fake flowers out there. It's 10 o'clock in the evening where Anna Panna is. Well, you have a blessed night's sleep, Anna. But I'm glad you could pop in and say hi. Yeah, I didn't know anything happened to Wilson. Oh, he's lucky he didn't drown. And there's the Amaro, the Christian guy. Hello. Not hurt, just fell off the boat in the Texas Gulf. I was lucky to walk away from it. Yeah, you were. Thank you, Tamara. You just kind of got, I'm sure that scared you. It would have scared me to death if I'd have fell off a boat and maybe the boat was so big they couldn't get to me and they had to airlift me out of the water. Oh, that would be terrifying. I'm in Texas, Wilson, King of Persia. Texas, USA. Yeah, that's a really scary experience, Wilson, to fall off a boat in the ocean. It'd probably scare me so bad if I got back on that boat ever again. I'd have ropes tied to me and tied to the side of the boat so I couldn't fall out. Because I'm terrified of being out in the ocean like that. Yeah, I was wondering, were you fishing or you boat riding or why were you out in the boat? What were y'all doing? Did you jump in trying to get your fish? I know some of those fish they catch out in the ocean are so big, I don't see how they ever bring them up in the boat. Could probably do better at jumping in after them. You were fishing? Okay. My son and his company used to go once a year fishing with a bunch of the guys from work. He seemed to have a pretty good time, and they caught a whole bunch of fish that he showed me in pictures. Uncle BB said in the early 50s when my mom was in-house, there was a clique called the Texans. Were you trying to reel that big fish in when you fell overboard, Wilson? I mean, some of them fish they reel in on the ocean in them boats are bigger than I am. I don't see how in the world they ever get them over, reeled in. Yeah, Wilson was the biggest catch of the day. We laugh about it, Wilson, but we can laugh about it because we know you're all right. But I know that had to be scary for you at the time it happened. Do you know it's almost April Fool? We got one more day after today and it'll be April Fools, y'all. Y'all better watch out. Couple of days people will be playing April Fool's jokes on you. Did you catch you some fish while you were out there, Wilson? Went underwater and then came up again? Yeah, that'd be scary. That happened to me one time, but it was out in the lake, the river. It wasn't in the ocean. And the current where I was pushed off was at the end of the pier. And I went back around the pier and the current started bringing me toward the pier. And I kept going under and coming up and hollering for help. I'd go under, come up, holler for help. Go under and come up again. And I was terrified. And finally, when I got to the piling on the pier that held it up, I just put my arms around it and held on. And my brother come walking out on that little pier. And he says, Linda, give me your hand. Let me pull you up. I wouldn't turn loose of that piling. And there's Dennis. He's busy cooking for his grandkids. Janice said, I threw my son off the back of our boat in the waterway here. Yeah, but that wasn't out in the middle of the ocean in the deep water. But, I mean, you can drown just as easy in shallow water as you can deep water. But Anna said that Texas reminds me of a movie, Giants, with James Dean. You celebrate your 30th work anniversary on April 1st. What wasn't your work an April Fool's joke? And you kept it all these years. Maybe that's why I didn't manage to keep a lot of jobs I had. I didn't get hired on April Fools. I mean, the companies that I ended up leaving, it was their loss. I mean, one job that I really loved, I was almost fed up with because I was doing such a heavy workload and I was not getting paid enough to do the work that I did. And I finally saw how they were losing money and I saved the company and they had to have a layoff to lower the payout money that was going out of the company because they didn't have money to cover it all. And I was one of the ones that got laid off. And I'll guarantee you they regretted it later because there's no way they could hire anybody in there to do the workload that I did for what they paid me. And they probably would have wanted me back, but they were too ashamed to ask me to come back. And they probably knew for sure that I wouldn't come back with the pay that they were giving me before. So they couldn't afford me after that. And they knew it. But regardless, it still put me out of my job, you know. Who wants to cook some neck bones and rice? Well, you know what? Neck bones don't sound too bad. It's been many years since I've had neck bones. I may just have to buy a package of neck bones and cook them just to show Wilson I can cook neck bones. Yeah, they didn't realize the workload that I was under. The amount of work that I did in a day's time, it probably took at least 3 other people to do that workload to get it done in 8 hours a day. Maybe even 4 people, I don't know. But I was trained, I was qualified. You know, I had the college degree behind me. I knew what I was doing. I didn't hesitate to do what I did. So I could do it pretty fast. Whereas an inexperienced, untrained person that they bring in there to try to do the job that I did and pay them a lot less money didn't work. But they found that out too late, and like I said, it was their loss. Haya said, I come here to learn English. I love your voice. So kind. Well, thank you, Haya. You just put neck bones in water and start boiling them. That's the way I cook neck bones. And then when you get them done, you can add rice to them if you want rice in there. I'm going to buy me a package of neck bones. If I can find a decent package of neck bones somewhere, I'm going to buy a package and I'm going to cook them. No chicken feet. No, Wilson. I don't, no. I'm not having nothing to do with chicken feet. It's 4:21 a.m. where you're at. You got to be in India, Iran, Pakistan, somewhere over in there. Yeah, that's probably why the company ran into problems, and they hired me just at the time when they were transferring all of their paper files into the computer, because the companies at that time were switching over to computer systems. And they hired me and put me on a salary. And I worked 40 hours a week, but I knew every week I was going to get paid the same thing. But like I said, it was not enough. I did the work that I should have got paid about twice what they were paying me. And I worked there for 2 years, auditing a lot of their files, going through all the back files, checking everything, re-entering it in the computer to bring everything up to date in the computer. And I found where they were losing money. And I presented it to their accountant. And they had to go to the bank to get another loan to pay off debt. And the bank told them that they would give them that one last loan to keep their heads above water, but they had to cut their payroll. They were paying out too much money. They had to cut it. And their mistake, they cut my payroll, the one that saved their butt. And they realized I not only saved their butt, but I was doing the work of 3 or 4 people already. And they were not paying me half as much as I should have been getting. Therefore, they knew they couldn't afford to get me back there to work because I would want too much money. If chicken feet are cheap enough and are cleaned and have nails off, I would like to add some to my bone. Well, yeah, bone broth might be all right. You know, the recipe I'm getting ready to do after this live is over, I just got through boiling the bones, the carcass that was left after I stripped all the meat I could possibly get off of it. I put it in a pot and I boiled it for a couple of hours. I just got through straining it through a strainer. And I've got almost a quart jar full of bone broth that I'm probably going to make soup with for another video, but not today. But I'm going to use the little bit of chicken that I got off for the recipe that I'm going to do after this live is over. And I'm going to show you, you can stretch a roasted tear chicken a long way. I mean, I have eaten it for days. I've gotten sandwiches off of it. I've eaten pieces of chicken off of it, just the chicken. And now I've got bone broth for, my soup. And I've got chicken to do my dish that I'm going to do my recipe with after this live is over. So you can make one chicken go a long way in a household. You should work for Musk. Why do you say that? Neck bones are yeah, I know they're pretty low cost. Most people don't want them because there's not a ton of meat on them. But sometimes you can find neck bones that have quite a bit of meat on them. You just roasted a whole chicken today, Tamara? Well, you'll have to watch my videos because I've already made chicken sandwiches several days this week for meals that I've eaten. I cut a little bit of the chicken into cubes and ate with my green salad that I harvested out of my garden yesterday. I ate that for supper last night. So that was 2 different meals right there. And now I'm getting ready to do the recipe for tonight's dinner. I'm not telling you what it is. You'll have to watch the video. And then I've got bone broth for some kind of soup with my chicken broth. And I bought that chicken. It was less than $3 because it was the day old roasted here. It wasn't still hot, just like it came out of the roaster. it was the next day, and they mark it down the next day. And I got it for basically half price, you know, the next day. And I said, well, this chicken is fine. I'm getting it because I don't care if it's cold. So I bought it. And I've eaten 2 different meals of chicken sandwiches. That's chicken salad, you know, the green chicken salad with everything in it last night. I don't know. He's probably got so many bookkeepers that work for him that are so more experienced and educated than I am. But, you know, that's what I was hired to do. They told me when I was going through those files, not only to bring everything up to date entered in the computer, but to notice anything out of place. And I kept noticing things out of place that shouldn't be in the project because they were divided up into different contracts, you know, different projects. And I kept noticing little bits and pieces here that didn't belong. And plus, I was doing all the data entry. I was doing tons of other stuff. I was doing stuff of their current work that was coming in, plus going back through like 3 or 4 years of back files. Yeah, I use my chicken till there's nothing left. I mean, you'll be surprised how many meals and different recipes you can get out of one whole chicken. You can buy, like I said, one roasted deer chicken for $2.97. I think that's what I paid for that because it was a day-old chicken. And I've eaten so many meals off of it. It's ridiculous. And I'm still going to get more off of it. No, not generally about it, because I boil my bones until most of the benefits from the bone and everything get into the liquid. And then I use the liquid in my soups, or sometimes it's good just to cook rice in it. You know, instead of using water to cook rice, use your bone broth, your, you know, chicken broth. So I guess you could say I indirectly eat the marrow because it ends up all boiling to pieces into the broth. My dad loved marrow from bones, you know, beef bones, chicken bones. I never cared to do that. It didn't look good to me. I guess maybe I didn't like the way the texture looked, you know, and I didn't want to eat it that way. That was my papa's job in the utility in our town. Oh, he was like auditor, bookkeeper. Yeah, after I was gone one day, I heard some of the workers told me later that he, the accountant that worked there, walked in my office, that was my office, and saw all the stacks of work piled up, and said he asked that new girl that they hired and was paying her less. I don't know, they were probably paying her minimum wage, and she had stacks and stacks of work piled up just from one day. And said he walked in and looked around and said, what is this? Do we have much more work now than we did when Linda was here? And she said, no, it's the same amount, but she said, I can't enter it as fast. I can't go through it as fast as she did. There's too much else to do. He realized his mistake right there. He would have been better off to have kept me at the wage he was paying me, instead of letting me go and then have to hire 3 or 4 more girls to get in there and do the same job I was doing. Mom and Dad both bone suckers? I'm not a bone sucker. Well, maybe it is, but I'm not going to suck it out of the bone. My dad used to do that, and he said it was good, but I didn't like the way the texture of it looked. I couldn't go that. Now, if it was real solid and cooked hard, I could probably have managed doing it, but not when it was all yucky. Marrow suckers. Oh, you guys are killing me. That's almost like eating liver, but I don't want my liver mushy either. I want it cooked solid. Yeah, ooh, Jana, I agree with you. Sorry about that, y'all. My car, you can go out there and look at it right now. It's not only got a film of dust over it, but it's got pollen over it. It looks almost like a orangish green dust. It's pollen and dust combined. That's why my allergies are bad. The pollen count is extremely high today, even though it rained and settled stuff down last night. I don't have any more big jars of cowboy candy to get rid of. I got one jar of actual cowboy candy left, the pint jar, and that's mine. Y'all can't have it. She'll eat it, not. Yeah, you got that right. I don't suck crawdad heads either. And those things are gross. I went to a big company cookout with one of these utility companies one year, and they had a big old refrigerated truck brought in from Louisiana that was full of crawdads and shrimp and all kind of stuff. And those crawdads were alive. They had them in like net bags and kept them cool in that refrigerator truck. And they dumped them right in those big pots to cook them on the open fire. And then dumped them out on the table. And oh my God, it kind of grossed me out. People were, especially the guys, were standing around with the crawdads. They'd break the head off and then suck on it. And it was all orangey, like mustardy looking stuff coming down their chin and, dripping everywhere. I said it looked like baby dookie to me. I'm not sucking any crawdad's head. They say it's real good, but now I like the tail. That's like eating shrimp to me, but I don't want anything to do with the rest of the body. Well, thank you, Kaylin. Yeah, it's been 3 months since Jana lost her husband, and I hope she's handling it a little bit better today than she was, and it'll get better each day as days go by. I mean, it still hurts. She's still going to miss him, but it'll get easier. I know my poor brother, when he lost his youngest daughter, I mean, she was barely hardly 20 and died. She was just out of nursing school. And, oh, when I went to see him, it was, he just lost it. And I told him, I said, it'll get easier, it'll get better. He said, but it hurts so bad. And he just broke down and cried. I said, I know. I said, you don't think you're going to get through it, but you will. The pain will never go away. The love will never go away, but it will get easier. Yeah, I'm so sorry about Jana's loss, losing her husband. Bad boa, baby dookie is amazing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Well, you can eat all you want of it. I don't want any part of it. Oh my goodness, that looked like newborn baby dookie when you go to change their diaper, and it looks like somebody put a jar of mustard in their diaper. I can do without it. I'm sorry. That and chicken feet go hand in hand. I don't want any, and snails. I don't want any part of snails. I don't care how good people say they are. And And there's Frida. Hi, Frida. What is baby dooley? What's in a baby's diaper, Edith, when you got to change them and put them on some clean diapers? That's baby dookie. You know somebody that was buried at C. Wilson? Yeah, it's downright poop, Edith. You don't want to be eating that. And that's what those crawdads look like. Those people breaking the heads off and sucking them. Oh my God, look like mustard coming out of that head. Don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of eels. I don't want any part of escargot or snails, or whatever you want to call them. I don't care how much they cost. I don't want them. I got them all over my yard. And one of my subscribers saw them in my yard one time when I was doing a video, and she said, "Those are good to eat." I thought to myself, well, you come get all you want. You can have every snail in my yard that you want to pick up. I'm not touching them. I'm not eating them. No way. And Diana's back. She had a call. Well, welcome back. That's a good song for you. It hurts so bad. Well, thank you, Caitlin. I had somebody tell me one time that my laugh was, or my giggle was contagious. Couldn't imagine consuming something so foul. I know, Edith, I wouldn't. There's no way. Like I said, I like the body of it, because it's, when you get it out of the shell, it's like eating a shrimp. But I don't want anything to do with the head and all that. Ugh. That's gross. That's funny, Jana. She said her oldest son, Zachary, woke up 1 a.m. and he pulled his diaper off and poop was all over his crib. He didn't want that nasty thing on his butt. That's why he pulled it off. I'm sorry you don't understand our language too, Keenan, 1983. I hope you can use a translator. Infectious laugh. I used to have a phone job, and I guess that's one reason I did well on the phone job. People love to hear my voice. They love to hear me giggle. And I'd get in conversations with my customers, and I couldn't get them off the phone. And finally, they'd end up buying from me, because I was selling advertisement. So usually I would make quota and plus bonuses each week. I had another phone job where people would call me, especially guys sometimes would call me that were lonesome, and they would just want to talk all day. And, I was getting paid by the minute. Every minute I kept them on the line, I was getting paid for. But sometimes I didn't want to talk to them. They want me to come visit them and all kind of stuff. There's no way I was going to go traveling to any other part of Texas to visit any phone customer. Yeah, Keenan, you need to use a translator, because that's probably what you're using to be able to type in chat. Mom was a New York telephone operator. I had an aunt, my Aunt Mary, she was an operator for the phone company in New York. She worked for the same phone company that my uncle was an executive of. And she ended up working there as a phone operator. They pretty much did away with phone operators now. It's not like it used to be. 1954, yeah, it was quite a few years ago. How about carrier pigeons? I've never seen real life carrier pigeons, but I've seen movies of them, how they work, and that's kind of neat. Keenan wants my hair down. They love my hair down. He says open hairs, but he means to take it down. I put it up because it's hot. Is that better? Edith said, I saw a video of a kitten dancing. Well, good for you, Edith. They got some cute little videos out there with animals dancing and singing and doing all kind of stuff. Kush, Kushadizi, turkey close to you, Keenan. I don't even know where that is. Henry, I'm doing fantastic. You're welcome, Caleb. It releases my brain, Tamara. You'll never believe, I got a job working in a realtor office one time as their receptionist secretary. And when I went in to get the job, I had my hair down and it was cut in layers, so it kind of flipped out and curled up. It looked pretty good. And they hired me. Well, I come to work the next day. I had my hair down the way it was when I applied for the job. And then like the next week, it was hot and I decided, well, I'm going to put my hair up. So I put it up in braids and did it up and went to work. And I heard the boss tell a friend of mine that worked there. He said, man, I can't believe she put her hair up like that. That's hair in bondage. I don't like that. He said, I hired her because I loved her hair. And there I was with it all pulled tightly back, braided up. Well, I had no idea that I got the job because he liked my hair. And we got Raul in the house. Hello, Raul. Oh, you were on a cruise through part of Turkey, and that's your only experience. I've never been on a cruise ship. Closest thing I've ever been to being on a cruise ship was taking a tour of the USS North Carolina battleship, and it was in dry dock as a museum when I went on it. I know bondage sounds kinky, but he said I had my hair in bondage. He told my friend, he said, I don't like hair in bondage. I thought that was kind of silly, but if I'd have known that beforehand, I wouldn't have worn my hair pulled tight back like that. But you never know. Yes, sir, it is definitely spring in Texas. 85 degrees. I think that's spring in Texas. And for the most part, it's been 85 degrees for well over a week or so. And it's not even April yet. April Fool's Day, Tuesday, y'all. Yeah, and I just cut probably 4 or 5 inches off of it because it was getting too long. Raul says, marry me. Yeah, that rain even made stuff start growing in my compost pile. And I know it's got to be pumpkin seeds coming up. I've got 3 or 4 pumpkin plants popped up out of the compost, and it's got 2 leaves on each one. I'm debating whether to pull them out and put them somewhere else in the garden or just leave them there. I left them there one year and the vine started growing real good, but it never did produce blooms or pumpkins. The vine finally died. So I guess if it has any luck at all, I need to move it out of the compost pile. Because the compost pile will get too dry inside. And when the roots hit the dry part, then the plant will die. Raoul said, marry me. And there's Bagger Feed. Hello, how are you doing today? Yeah, I've not had too much luck with pumpkins either. I had several plants that started growing like crazy, looked beautiful. It put out blooms, but then it died. No pumpkins at all. I think it was too hot of weather for it. I don't either, Edith. I don't plan to get married again. Hi, Bagger Feed. New said, what is the weirdest thing you've grown? I grew lophia squash and used it too. I had planted some of that squash one year, but it didn't do anything. I don't think it liked this weather here. But the weirdest thing I've ever planted, I can't think. That might be it, the lophia squash that you make. Doesn't it like come out like a sponge, or I can't think of what it's called. Raoul said, I'm Indian, marry me. Yeah, sponge things, yeah. Yeah, I tried to grow those, and I tried to grow gourds because my dad back home used to grow gourds and make birdhouses with them. So I got seeds from him, and the plants came up, and the ants ate the plant. I mean, it was sprouts that those ants devoured. They didn't have a chance. And, they devoured the plant before I even realized what was happening. It was barely more than a sprout, maybe 1 or 2 leaves come on it. And I went out there one day and it was covered with ants and just a stub sticking up out of the ground. They ate that too. If I'd have known beforehand, I could have sprayed it with something to, keep the ants away, but I didn't know. I didn't know they would go after it like that. I guess back then the ants were starving in Texas. There was nothing growing around that they could eat, basically, except cactus. Edith says, I love cherry pie. I do too. It's been a long time since I've had cherry pie. I need to make a pie coming up pretty soon. I just don't know what kind of pie it's going to be. Raoul said, beautiful and sexy. I don't know about the sexy part, and I don't know about the beautiful part, but yeah, down boy. Tamara says, Raoul, you're walking a fine line. I don't know if I've got the stuff to make a cherry pie. I think I might have something to make an apple pie maybe, or peach pie. I don't know. I'll have to look. Or maybe a cobbler. In Pakistan, it's midnight. My eyes are sleeping, but your love stopped me here. Yeah, and it's only what? 3, almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon here. Well, thank you. I don't think I've got blueberry to make a blueberry cobbler. Edith, you got a proposal. Raoul says, Margaret, marry me. My daughter's name's Margaret. Always get thumbs up. You're awesome. Well, thank you for that compliment. No response, Edith? Yeah, I keep talking about the meringue pie, the lemon meringue pie, and I haven't done that. Banana meringue pie, I haven't done that. We'll see. I'll come up with something pretty soon. It's getting almost too hot to even turn the oven on, y'all. Too hot to even cook indoors. I'm already starting to think about things I can cook on the grill outside so I don't have to heat up the house. I don't give out phone numbers, and I don't think Edith does either. Edith tells Raoul that you need to be hosed down, you're in heat. Oh, I had too, Tamara. We never had whipped topping on stuff when I was growing up. On my mom's lemon meringue pies or banana pudding, anything like that, she always put a meringue topping on it and put it in the oven just long enough to barely brown the parts of the top. It looked good and it tastes awesome. And look at that. Caleb saying love to all that's here. I think it's a texture thing for me. I can eat curry. Some of the curries I like, but some of the curries are too spicy, and I don't care for some of the spices that go in curry. So therefore, there's only very few of the curries that I like. Oh, I like pumpkin pie too. I like sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie. All that's good. We got Easter coming up pretty soon. That means some kind of dish for Easter. I don't know what it'll be. Whew. I put my hair down now. I'm sweating. My face is wet with perspiration. No phone numbers, Raul. You'd have the whole world calling you if you posted your number in the chat. I don't know what it'll be this year. I haven't even thought about what I wanted to cook for Easter this year. Don't know what I'm going to do for Easter. I'm kind of thinking fried chicken would be good for Easter Sunday. Malaysia, my fave Indian food. Well, I haven't eaten very much Malaysian type food, so I don't know if I would like it or not. Now, I had a friend that used to live out here, and she was from the Philippines, and she had a big kind of buffet type party thing going on at her house one time, and she invited me with a lot of other friends that I knew. Oh, I'm telling you, some of that food that she prepared was so good. Little appetizers and all kind of stuff. I know she worked hard on all that, but it was good. Oh my God, it was good. The best flavor, but it was all food that they fixed over in the Philippines. It was not any of it American food, but it was every bit of it that I tasted was really good. I've worn my hair in a French braid before years ago, and I could braid it myself. I finally learned how to French braid my own hair, believe it or not. But I haven't done it in a long time. I don't know if I could get it braided or not. Edith said my phone number's 911. There you go. Call for help, Raul. Fixed pork roast for Easter. I'm leaning more for fried chicken. Because when I think of Easter, I think of Easter egg hunts and I think of picnics. And when I think of picnics, I think of fried chicken and potato salad. So I don't know. It may be fried chicken this year. If I eat at my house, I don't, I haven't planned anything for Easter, but BR549 is the number. I could give you just some off the wall number. And you might get somebody to answer the phone, who knows, but it wouldn't be my number. Yeah, I never did find out if he caught his fish. Did you catch fish that day, Wilson? Is that why you fell in? You were trying to bring in that big fish? Beef roast, Diana said. That's all. I don't know. It don't go with Easter, y'all. Fried chicken goes with Easter because I'm always used to go into Easter egg hunts, picnics on Easter, and it's always fried chicken. Fried chicken, potato salad, baked beans, you name it. Tamara Ameling says Easter ham here. Well, I might do that. I don't know, but use the Time Ladies number. I don't even remember what that number is, Tamara. They used to have a number you could call to find out the time and temperature. I don't remember what the number is anymore because it's been so many years since I've even dialed that number. I can't afford Easter eggs, Dennis says. Yeah, it depends on what eggs you buy. I got, let's see, I know I got an 18 count, or 2.5 dozen eggs at my son's yesterday that came from their chicken house. So you can't get no fresher than that. Yeah, I only do like hams and turkeys and stuff like that through Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving. Now for the 4th of July, that's another picnic time. That's chicken, fried chicken to me, and potato salad. Or hamburgers. No, hamburgers went out on the 4th of July. Usually you grill out hamburgers for 4th of July. But Easter is fried chicken time. I pick about 3.5 dozens a day. You talking eggs? How many chickens you got, Henry? I love eggs. I mean, I should try chicken sometimes, but I don't know. I'd have to have a chicken house and a chicken pen and a chicken yard to keep them enclosed. And, I don't know that I want to do all that. You got about 85 chickens? Okay, Caleb, you have the rest of your night. Be blessed. Sleep tight if you're going back to sleep. And see you next time. Be safe. We're so glad you could come into our live today. You should get about 85 eggs a day. Well, a friend of mine told me, we were talking about chickens one time. He said, well, you living by yourself, he said, you could have 3 chickens. And he said, they'd lay you enough eggs to keep you oversupplied in eggs. They said you wouldn't be able to eat all the eggs out of 3 chickens. And I said, well, that don't sound too bad. Yeah, eggs are high nowadays. I mean, some of them, depending on what eggs you buy, are $9, $10 a dozen. That's pretty expensive for eggs. I buy the cheap eggs. I buy Walmart's Great Value eggs. Unless I get them from my son, which are even better. And all of his eggs are the brown eggs. I boiled some of them. Oh, I boiled this little bowl full of eggs, and I've been eating on them. But those are pretty eggs that come out of my son's chicken house. And they say brown eggs are better. And even these are not white. They're like a tan cream color. But they're good eating. They've been pretty good for me so far. And they're already boiled, so that's why they're out here in this bowl. The other ones I've got in the refrigerator. I've not seen a green egg yet, but I know some people that have them. Their chickens, they're real light pale green, like a mint green color. And I guess some could be darker. I don't know. Dye them for Easter. Well, it's already dyed. Look. I got a brown Easter egg. It's already dyed. And that one's dyed tan or cream color. Just have to put a smiley face on it. I guess you have to choose what chickens you buy, because some chickens lay brown eggs, some chickens lay white eggs, some chickens lay different color eggs, some chickens lay speckled eggs. And I don't know much about the chickens to know which one what of them lays, so I don't know. Henry says, ma'am, that's how Oz are. I know my grandmother had all color eggs. She even had duck eggs. Because she had ducks, turkeys, chickens, roosters. Bantam chicken, you know, the little Bantam roosters and chickens, the smaller ones. Dennis. He says some cows give white milk and some give chocolate milk. Yeah, the brown cows give chocolate milk, Dennis. Only the white cows give white milk. So if you want chocolate, get a brown cow. Oh, did I mention that my son, his steer just had a little baby calf. It's a bull. It's a little bull, newborn bull. He's only like 3 days old, but he's huge. I could see him sitting down on the ground with his mama, and his head was so big. I thought it was one of the grown steer. I didn't think it was the baby bull. He's black, and I didn't get close enough to get a picture of him. Yeah, how about strawberry milk? Where does the strawberry milk come from? If brown cows give chocolate milk, white cows give white milk. Oh, there's such a thing as a pink cow? I've never seen a pink cow. Rainbow. Y'all are being silly. Chad is Jock Ewing from Dallas. I guess black cows give black milk then, don't they? Tastes like licorice. And the spotted cows, you know, the white and brown spotted, they give chocolate milk sometime and they give white milk sometimes. I have no idea who shot JR. But he said they always sell the baby calves or the baby bulls. They can't keep all of them. They don't have room to keep all of them. He lives in South Fort with all the cattle. Who likes hot chili with hot peppers? I do, but I can't eat it hot very much anymore. I get the hiccups. And Mara said, Linda, you look like a country girl that rides her motorcycle with her hair blowing in the wind. Yeah, well, I don't have a motorcycle. And the times I've ridden one, I was on the back of somebody else's. I wasn't driving it myself. And it was just for a fun ride up the street and back. Now, I drove a three-wheeler by myself. It's a little different. I think I dream of Jeannie shot JR. Yeah, the boy cows make good hamburgers. Bing Crosby's daughter shot JR. Yeah, I mean, all that feed is not cheap. You know, the hay's not real cheap either when you buy those great big old round bales of hay. Yeah, I didn't even think to ask Dennis if he got any rain. I know he was wetting everything down with that well. He was working on his deep well. Elsie and Elmer Borden. Yeah, I've never owned cows or bulls or any of that stuff, so, but I can't imagine it gets a little costly, a little pricey to feed them all the time. If you want your hair blowing in the wind, you have to eat a New York peppermint patty. Joanne. We got ants over here in the southwest Louisiana. No, I don't think you got many there because we got them all here in Texas. Your dad had a cow, Uncle BB? And that reminds me, I need to mix some spray to where I can spray these ants. And I need to get some more, well, I've got ant granules I can put around. Because I don't want to spray ant poison on my plants. But you can sprinkle the ant granules around the top of the dirt, and it doesn't bother your plants. And it keeps the ants away. Until I get my peppers out there. That's the only reason I started planting jalapenos years ago, was just to keep the ants away from my garden. You got 1 inch of rain, Henry? Your dad had a cow and it kicked him in his ankle, had a scar. Oh, wow. Well, you're not supposed to stand in the way of their kick. No, I've never drank goat milk. Like I said, I'm allergic to milk, so I don't drink it, not even cow's milk. Unless it's 2%, then, and if it's chocolate, I'll drink it. Fix some red-eye gravy. Well, I got to have something to cook to fix with red-eye gravy, not just red-eye gravy. I got so many recipes I want to do, and I can't do them all at one time. Yeah, borax is good to kill ants. What I do is I get 7 dust and the powder, and I'll put half borax and half 7 dust. Mix it all up and sprinkle it around where the ants are. The sugar attracts the ant. No. Yeah, the sugar attracts the ants, the powdered sugar. And when they eat the sugar, they get the borax, and that kills them. And they usually take that borax back to the nest and get the queen. And when you kill the queen, you got rid of the whole nest of ants. Ham, steak, grits, and red-eye gravy. That sounds good to me, Tamara. Just made spicy tater wedges for dinner. Oh, that sounds real good. And I'm getting hungry, too, because it's about dinner time here. And I'm going to have to cook my dinner and video it before I can get to eat. I don't have roaches, Wilson. It don't usually get wet enough here to attract roaches. Roaches like water, damp places. It's usually too dry and hot here for roaches. But you can put out borax tablets. They look like about the size of an aspirin. You can put them under cabinets, under your washing machine, inside cabinets where animals can't get to it. And the roaches are attracted to it, and it kills them. Or any other kind of creepy crawler. I know, Dennis, I've been trying to find out if Wilson caught any fish, if he brought any home, and he's never answered. I'll get you some borax tablets. You can't, usually Walmart has them, but you got to order them because they don't keep them in stock on the shelf. That's where I get them. I order a box from Walmart online and just put a couple out here and there all over your house. And you won't have roaches. You won't have any kind of bugs crawling in your house. There's lemon fresh and borax and Fab. Well, yeah, you can wash clothes with borax. Borax is a laundry detergent. How many and what kind, Wilson? And there's Jack Woods. Hello. Welcome. And there's Melinda. Hello, Melinda. I'm doing great. I noticed a lot of baby flying gnats, and I don't know where they're coming from. Drum and tarpon. Have you cooked any of them, Wilson? Man, the wind's blowing just a little bit, and you can hear the leaves hitting the house. And it sounds almost like rain hitting the house, and it's nothing but leaves. Diana, they come from mama flying gnats. Yeah, if you have any fruit out like oranges, bananas, apples, they definitely attract fruit flies and little gnats. You know what I see right here? I see deviled eggs. I think that's what I'm going to do with these boiled eggs is make deviled eggs. I might make a little bit of egg salad with a couple of them. But that's what I was thinking when I boiled them. I said, I see egg salad and deviled eggs. I have fruit living across the street. Well, that will attract them to your place. I don't know, Wilson. I don't know what it will be. Maybe still the 21st century. I have no idea. Dennis, you're something else. You have a fruit living across the street. Whisk with blue magic whitener. Yeah, anytime I have fruit in the house, I'm going to have gnats in here. So I try not to keep fruit out in a bowl. I try to keep it in the refrigerator in the vegetable bin. Even sometimes I put bananas down in the bottom of the refrigerator. Keeps the gnats out of your house. Gnats don't eat much. Yeah, but I don't want them on my food. Uncle BB said, I've never did my homework, just watch commercials. Y'all being a little silly. Put some apple cider vinegar and a bit of water in it. Cover the plastic wrap and rubber band. Poke holes in the screw. They will fly in and can't get out. There you go, Tamara. Oh, Diana, not Tamara. Tamara's telling her to do that to get rid of her gnats. Well, the fruit's not in it now. My orange is in the refrigerator, and my bananas went into my muffins yesterday that I posted this morning. So I don't have fruit up there now. I've got an onion up there, but I don't think the gnats want the onion. I don't think they like onions. I watch Recollection Road on YouTube. Brings back memories. I've never heard of that, Dennis. Make pineapple soup. Yeah, I'll have to check that out, Dennis. Recollection Road. There's a lot of talk and hype about Severance. It's a series, but I haven't watched any of it yet. I watched part of a trailer to it, and it looked kind of weird. Fruit tasted better when you were a kid, Uncle BB? Cricket says, I'm in for the quiz. How's Cricket doing today? Okay, I'll ask a question for seeds. How many bananas did I put in the muffins in the video I posted this morning? Can anybody tell me? That's to win seeds to plant in your garden. If you're in the United States, because the law doesn't allow me to mail seeds out of the country. Tamara, I know you watched it because, yes, ma'am, I did put 4 bananas in those muffins. I most certainly did. So Tamara Aimling got that. Tamara Aimling. Let me write her name down. So I don't forget to send her seeds. There. Got it written down so I don't forget who answered the question. Yeah, I always know who watches because they're the very first one to jump up there with the right answer. Oh, Fridge, sure I had it. Well, you didn't say it. You didn't put it in the chat. Yeah, they're good to have. I keep them under my washing machine, under cabinets or inside cabinets, anywhere. like if the cat comes in the house, the cat can't get to them. I mean, I don't think they would eat them, but I don't want to take any chance. So I put them under stuff that they can't get under to get to them. And they'll keep roaches, any types of bugs or any of that stuff out of your house. They'll even help keep rats away, mice, because mice will chew on it and it'll kill them too. It was funny, I had the washing machine repairman here at my house, what was it, last year? And he had to move my washing machine out. And he gave a funny look when he saw the little borax tablets laying under the washer. Because there was like 3 or 4 of them under there, little white tablets, looked like aspirin tablets. He was probably like wondering, what in the heck has she got under there? I don't know if he thought it was some kind of drugs or what it was, but it was borax tablets that I kept under there to keep the roaches and other mice and different bugs away. Under your washing machine is a safe place to put them because cats or dogs can't get under there. I don't know, Wilson. I haven't decided what kind of seeds, whatever I come up with. Yeah, but it wasn't 3, Uncle BB. It was 4. And Tamara, I think, was the only one that said 4. And I could have put more in there if I'd have had them because, you know, the more bananas you put in there, the better it tastes and the more moist it is. Or I should have put a little bit more cooking oil in it to moisten it up, I guess. But they're good. They're good to sit down with a cup of coffee and eat them. They're not overly sweet like the muffins you put icing on. I mean, I like those too occasionally, but I only eat one of them. But now, like if I'm going to bake muffins for me to eat here at the house, I don't want icing on them. And you could put icing on these, but I prefer not to. Lemon fresh and borax in you. Wait till this. I have to wait till it comes up here on this. I can't see the other. Wait till the onion bubblets produce. I know. You're going to have a ton of little onions. In the same way with Wilson, I send him the chives. They're like little spring onions. You plant those and they'll put off little shoots with those whole cluster of baby onion or baby ones to plant. And he can break those off and plant them and have more onions, more chives. Oh, excuse me. Well, Edith was here. I guess she's still here listening. Ooh, now I'm getting sleepy. I shouldn't be sleepy. I slept good last night. She's at Ferguson's Market. She may have stepped away from the screen for a moment. But she was here, and she probably still is. She's just temporarily not with us. Maybe. I don't know. I slept. And I had to finish uploading my video that I posted this morning before I went to bed. So it was about 1:30 before I went to bed last night. Well, this morning. No, you didn't. I saw you at midnight live. I know. I was up till about 1:30, but I did sleep when I went to bed, thank goodness. She's next door at the Jeffersons. Or maybe she's at Piggly Wiggly. You don't know. She might be eating her dinner. I don't know what time it is where she's at. She may be eating her din-din. No, I got to make some, but my okra is not up. You know, I've only got 1 or 2 little sprouts come up from my okra seed so far, so I don't need my pepper spray right yet. I mainly put that on my okra and sometimes my cabbage and collards. It helps deter the worms too, a little bit. I'm going to get me a Diet Dr. Pepper. Well, get me one while you're at it, Diana. Who knows? She might be visiting Maud. Not a bit of telling about that lady. That's what I said. She can get me one while she's at it. I don't usually drink Dr. Pepper, but I could use one about now. Diana says, okay, Miss Linda. Apu Vignis says, sew me armpit. What? I'm a pepper, you're a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I don't understand that statement from Apu Vignis. See me armpit. Take the Nestle plunge. Or the Nestle plunge. RC Cola. You're naming some old drinks. I haven't seen an RC Cola in many years. I've only seen 1 or 2 places that even have sodas at all of any kind in bottles, glass bottles, still. But there's 1 or 2 places around that still have Coca-Cola and Pepsi and some of that in glass bottles. God will get you for that. Oh, God. Oh. Larassi Cola in a moon pie. Yeah, I'm sure they've got it here too. I just don't ever see it because I don't look for it. We have the Spanish market, the glass bottles from Mexico. But here it's kind of a novelty to buy Pepsi or Coca-Cola in a glass bottle anymore. And moon pies too. Yeah, moon pies were pretty popular when I was growing up. A lot of people love their RC cola and a moon pie. Fresca and a candy bar. Tamara said, I like RC in junior high. A bottle of Tab was my lunch. That wasn't much of a lunch. Oh, man. Mom's breakfast when she was an operator coke in Lorna Dunes. Oh, I did that when I was a kid growing up. I'd either get a Sundrop or a Coca-Cola and a small bag of peanuts, and I'd pour those peanuts down in my bottle. And then I'd drink and eat my peanuts at the same time. We thought that was kind of cool. I haven't done that in a long time because I haven't had the bottled Coca-Cola to pour my peanuts in. I did it with Sundrop. We had Sundrop back home, which is like a Mountain Dew. And you could get it at Walmart for a little while, but they don't carry the Sundrop anymore. Most people buy Mountain Dew out here. They don't buy Sundrop. And you don't tell that much difference between a Mountain Dew and a Sundrop. They look almost the same. They taste almost identical. I don't think I ever tried it with the 7-Up, Wilson. But I did it with Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and Sundrop. Yeah, Mom would always give us usually 7-Up if we had an upset stomach. Or if she didn't have 7-Up in the house, she'd give us Coke or Pepsi. Most of the time it did the trick. Yeah, I remember doing that, waiting for on the bus and getting a Coca-Cola and a bag of peanuts. I remember Bubble Up was like 7-Up. I don't remember Bubble Up. Coca-Cola with peanuts, that was thinking, that was in the 60s, early 60s. Y'all were about to put me to sleep. You got me so relaxed. My nanny used 7-Up and vanilla ice cream for a hangover. Oh, no. I've never heard of that. But whatever works, hey. Coca-Cola and some crackers would settle your stomach. That was the remedy in those days, and it does work. Yeah, the Coca-Cola usually would help settle your stomach. 7-Up too. Did you know that peanut can give you liver cancer? That's what a... Really, Wilson? Where did you hear that at? Dennis, too much communion wine. After she left church. Mom loved Dairy Queen blizzards. The internet. People learn everything on the internet nowadays. My nana, who attended Catholic services and always had a cooler of a tall bush beer in the trunk. Miss Linda, you better start cooking if you're going to do a cooking video before you go to sleep. I know. I'm hungry. I got to go get my cooking video done so I can eat dinner. It's dinner time. My son did. He liked to eat spinach because of Popeye's cartoons where he saw Popeye open that can of spinach and just down it, you know. Oh, oh. Well, y'all, I think I'm going to get off of this live and start my video, my cooking video, so I can eat dinner tonight. I'm hungry. I better leave before I burn my grandkids' supper. Yeah, they're not going to be happy if you burn their dinner tonight. Yeah, Popeyes was a good place to go eat. But y'all, I appreciate all of you coming into the live, and I'll get Tamara's seeds out to her. And you never know when I'll go live next. I'll liable to pop up tomorrow or the next day. For sure, the 1st of July, the 1st of April, on April Fools, I got to go live. To, just to say hi and have April Fool's Day or something. Brooklyn said hello and goodbye. Well, tell Brooklyn I said hello and goodbye and enjoy her dinner tonight. Bye, Uncle BB. Bye, Edith. You take care. Have a good evening. Everybody, goodbye. Have a blessed night. Have a good day tomorrow, and I'll see you on my next one. Love y'all. Bye now.